Hey folks! Ooh, look at that. That came out quick. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. It is Wednesday night. We are all fired up here. It's been a long week so far, and it's only Wednesday. That is just incredible how time is just going so slow. So slow. But anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the live show. This is the new nerd in town. I am Dave, the new nerd. In case you didn't know, here it comes. Boom, right there. This is TV Talk, episode 10. Episode 10. These are not the droids these are not the nerds you are looking for. These are not the nerds you are looking for. All right, maybe it is. Come on in. We are discussing TV Talk. As always, it's Wednesday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is beautiful. How is everybody doing? Is everybody enjoying themselves? Everybody having fun, watching TV shows, watching old TV shows, watching new TV shows? Woo! Lots of energy. Don't know where it came from. I'm ready to go if everybody else is ready to go. Had an interesting choice of TV shows. It's the same TV shows that we'll always be talking about, but it's a bit interesting because some of the more exciting TV shows decided to take a backseat this week so far, and some of the shows that are just kind of like plateauing decided to just bump it up a little bit. It's been quite interesting so far. For those of you who are huge fans of Fallout 4, keep playing. Just keep playing. I've been watching it. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I actually want to play it. I bought Fallout 3 because it's cheap right now, and I'm thinking about maybe playing it this weekend. Maybe, if I have time. Maybe, perhaps. If not, Star Wars Battlefront comes out next week. That will most likely be the first game that I stream live. Yes, that's right. Star Wars Battlefront comes out, and it's the beginning of the best December ever. That's right. In case nobody here knows about it, Star Wars The Force Awakens Episode 7 is coming out December 18th is the official date. I'll just stick to the official date. December 18th is when Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens comes out. Don't worry. Wednesday beforehand, on December 16th, we will have a very special TV talk where it's all Star Wars. All Star Wars, all night. I don't care if I'm up until I at least go see the show. Hopefully by then, I'll have some cool props and stuff to show off to the fans. But we will be talking anything and everything Star Wars. If it has to do with the storyline, how it makes me feel, why I feel so connected to this franchise, and why I'm so excited yet weary about this movie. Not even this show, but this movie. But anyway, that's coming in December. Right now it's November. Next Tuesday, the 17th of November, Star Wars Battlefront comes out. It'll be the first game the new nerd in town takes on. And I gotta tell you right now, if you're looking for something like the Clueless Gamer on Conan O'Brien, baby, you are in the right place, because I make kindergartners seem like sharpshooters. So stick it in for that. Or stick it in. Wow, that was weird. Tune in for that. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have fun. We'll be blasting music. We'll be having a good time. But let's get to why everybody is here tonight. We're here to talk about TV shows. Now, we're going to start, of course, with our Sunday shows. And we're going to go straight into it. I'm just going to take you right into it. We're going in with The Walking Dead. Yes. We get to see the fallout. Now, last week's episode, we got one of those filler episodes where it was what happened to Morgan since the last time we, the viewers, saw Rick with him, and Rick leaves, and then what happened to Morgan. Well, we got to see what happens. He got to meet his sensei. He got to learn his Aikido, battle stick kind of weaponry, fight style, and all that kind of stuff. So we got to see everything about Morgan, and we noticed that he's telling this story to the leader of the wolves, who he has captive in Alexandria. So, fast forwarded to this week's episode. Alexandria is surrounded. Now, Rick and... I forget who it was, but anyway, Rick, because that's all we really care about. Rick discovered a quarry filled with walkers. And he noticed that if any noise from Alexandria just pops out of nowhere, that can cause them to come out of the quarry and head to Alexandria. Well, guess what? His group are not going to be the only ones that have to defend Alexandria. They have to rely on those who have been living in Alexandria to defend themselves. And guess what? They're not going to really cut it. Rick has no faith whatsoever in the citizens of Alexandria. His group, he knows they're gonna take it out. He's got Daryl, he's got Abraham, he's got Glenn. Maggie's pretty bad A with her shooting skills. Michonne, of course, with that katana, and Tara. She's a little nuts, but she could get the job done. Even Carl could get the job done. And let's not forget Carol. Susie Homebaker has got some weapons underneath that smock of hers. But anyway, it's the people of Alexandria. It's Deanna and her citizens of Alexandria who are used to just living, not surviving. They don't know what's out there, but they're about to get a dose of it. Now, in the prior week's episode, in Thank You, a horrible, horrible tragedy happened to one of our main characters, Glenn. We're still hoping that he's alive, but come on. He can't be. He can't be. I don't know anyone in their right mind who can argue with me a solid argument that Glenn is still alive. It's a hotbed topic right now. And if you guys are in the same shoes as Maggie, you're always going to think that Glenn is alive. You're going to think the best of your husband and the father of your child. Now, it's kind of a spoiler alert, that little tidbit of information, but they've been dropping hints all season. So if you haven't really caught up to this past week's episode, you do know now that Maggie is pregnant with Glenn's child. They're married, so it's all kosher. It's all cool. So that's why Glenn has been very overprotective of Maggie, making sure she stays in Alexandria, stays behind the walls. Now, the citizens of Alexandria were also attacked by the wolves because of a mistake that one of their own, Aaron, had made on going out on one of their retrieval missions. The people of Alexandria had gotten a small group of scavengers together within their group, and were trying to find any survivors out there, bring them into Alexandria, and make sure that they are safe and that they can now live this new life and learn this idea that Deanna had, where you can live in this post-apocalyptic world. Don't worry about the undead outside these walls. Don't worry about them. Worry only about yourself and how you're going to live. And this group of scavengers, they would go out, they would find extra food, they would find people, they would find anything that they would need to keep Alexandria running, yet at the same time find any more citizens in order to keep mankind a running operation type thing. The only thing that they didn't really learn was how to defend themselves. They kind of did have a a plan in place. They have a very well-built wall around their civilization or their town or their society. However, that can't be their only line of defense. And they were relying on a very small group of people to be their defense, and it just wasn't working out for them. They cared more about living rather than surviving. Enter Rick's group. They're survivors. They've been through everything. I mean, that's what this show's about. This show is about a group of people who are trying to survive in a world where basically game on. It's you versus everybody. Or as us gamers like to put it, PvP or actually PvE. Player versus everyone. So, So the people of Alexandria do not have these skills. So now everything's getting shaken up at Alexandria. And then the season finale of season 5 had really just done them in. Rick had to kill one of their own, the doctor, who was a drunk, beating his wife, and that was after he killed Deanna, killed Deanna's husband, who was, the kind of the first dude, kind of the first dude type thing. Why Jello there? Jello. So this is so now the quarry happens to go completely wrong because as Rick and his group and some of the citizens of Alexandria who are learning that yes, the way that Rick is trying to teach us is actually is actually what we need to do. We need to be survivors now. We don't need to just be people who are living. So as he takes a small group out to try to empty the quarry, the wolves attack Alexandria. And in doing so, they set off a horn. So as the plan is going well, half of the horde of walkers break off and head towards, obviously, what is distracting them, which is Alexandria. So now we get into everything in the episode 2 weeks ago. All the events that happen in there. And towards the end, you see that Rick is surrounded in an RV, injured, and he was just attacked by wolves themselves. We weren't too sure exactly what the wolves were, but he was attacked at some point, was able to fend them off. Yes, The Walking Dead, Sneaky Devil, Walking Dead. He was able to fend them off, and we obviously see that at the end of last week's episode, Morgan hears someone yelling, open the gates, open the gates. This week we find out right away it's Rick. Rick is on his way back, and he's got a parade behind him, basically. It's just a parade of walkers. So now Alexandria is halfly surrounded, while the other half is still following Daryl, Abraham in their cars and motorcycles, and all that kind of stuff. The people of Alexandria are scared, especially Deanna. She's basically frozen and just walking through a fog this entire episode until one scene, but we'll get to that one. Rick tells them that they have to make a stand. They have to fight. The time of trying to learn to be survivors is over. They're getting thrown into the fire, and guess what? It's gonna burn. There's going to be things that they're going to have to do. There's going to be decisions that they're going to have to make, and it's all questionable. But guess what? The time to act is now. So none of the walkers, thankfully, got into the Alexandria, and they plugged up the hole in which the wolves got in. So there's going to be hopefully no more interference with that. Aaron divulges to the group, Aaron tells the citizens that it was his fault. He had photos of Alexandria that he had taken. His bag had been dropped on one of their missions in which they had to quickly run away. And the wolves found the pictures, saw, ooh, this looks like a good place to attack, and that's why the wolves planned their attack. They just went right for it. So Aaron confesses the whole wolf infiltration, and yeah, people are a little upset. Your question is, why didn't just let him go when he killed himself? Who are you talking about, Sneaky Devil? Who are you talking about? So yeah. So as Rick is trying to... Oh, I got a follow. Oh, Sneaky Devil, thank you so much. Thank you. There it is. There it is. Sneaky Devil, welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was like, I got a follow? That it didn't even come in. There it is. Welcome, 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 welcome to the show. I don't know who were you talking about killed himself? Seth and Deanna fight. Seth agrees with Rick that the town needs to fight. Yet he gives this whole speech, gives another speech to people who are trying to loot. The Nick and Glenn thing. Sneaky Devil's asking about the Nick and Glenn incident. I mean, it's tough. Nick's the one who killed himself. So, Nick, the whole thing is supposed to be very ominous. And yes, they're going to go back to it and explain it. In thank you, Nick says thank you, proceeds to end his own life, and in thus taking Glenn with him down into basically a pool of walkers. And it is believed that Glenn is dead. However, Maggie, Rick, everyone believe Glenn is still alive because they don't know. They, obviously did not go to the dumpster to go see, and they didn't know that's where Glenn was. So why didn't he just let him go? I think the way that they were showing it was that Nick fell on top of Glenn, so that gravity kind of played a role in that, where Nick's body fell forward into Glenn, knocking him off. It wasn't like Glenn grabbed onto him. It looked like gravity had worked, and Glenn was just pushed off the dumpster into the sea of walkers. So I think that's why he didn't just let him go. He just went straight into it. Going back to this week's episode, which ties into it, Maggie decides that she is going to go find Glenn. She said, forget it. I know my situation, but Glenn is still alive. Meanwhile, people are starting to write names like an in memoriam on the wall, on the inside of the wall of Alexandria, and Glenn's name's up there. So everything points to Glenn is dead. However, we the viewers and Maggie want confirmation. We want that double confirmation. Nobody is completely satisfied that Greg is dead. Glenn is dead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. If I spoiled it for you, Sneaky Devil, I'm sorry. I just, you asked, so I figured I let you in on it. So Maggie sets out with Aaron to go look for Glenn, and he lets her know about a secret entrance to get in and out of Alexandria underneath the wall, so that no gates have to be open, no walkers can come in. When walkers attack that one entrance, because Maggie's yelling at Aaron, they decide that it's just a mistake to do so. So, so Maggie is basically us. Maggie is the viewer, and the viewers are Maggie. Even though we saw what happened to Glenn and Maggie was safely in Alexandria, Maggie just believes, like everyone should, like you should believe, that Glenn is possibly, maybe, a little bit still alive. And that's all that you need, is just hope and belief that that's what's going to happen. Now, another small story arc that kind of continued on is I don't want to say the fight, but is kind of the it's kind of the ongoing, like, childish battle going on between Carl and Ron over Enid. Now, I'm sorry, but this week, like, you just wanted to sit there and just pull them both by the back of their collars and say, boys, stop your fighting. You know, there's no getting used to getting all hopped up about a girl, blah, 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 blah. It just seems so wussy. Like they needed to throw something in to give you 5 minutes, 5 minutes of filler while you, like, sat there and you're like, oh, really? Carl and Ron are going at it? Like, and ultimately, Ron does the most childish thing out of everything. He goes, I'm telling your dad that you're going to go out and search for Enid. I mean, it was so, like, bleh. It was like one of the worst fights ever. And it just felt like two kids are just like, get away from me. So it was just very disheartening to watch that fight, especially when we know how much of a BA Carl actually is and how he could just take Ron in one fell swoop. But hopefully we'll get to see, like, maybe adding Rick into the equation of bringing like, trying to bring out the manhood and trying to be the new father figure that Ron is looking for. By the way, I mean, Rick is already trying to be his father because, he's trying to get in on Ron's mother. Y'all saw that, right? Y'all saw that? I mean, we all saw it coming in last season, but, stupid husband got in the way. But hey, Rick took care of it in the season finale, so what father? What husband? Oh, Rick, you sly bastard. So now, I mentioned earlier that Deanna was kind of in a funk the whole day because she's again, this episode took place pretty much, I would say, like, this is all taking place within a day, to tell you the truth. A day, or even, like 1 or 2 days, or 2 to 3 days. It's not in a very long span. These episodes are not, like, weeks on end. So Deanna is walking around now. Now, Deanna used to be, like, the head of Alexandria. She's walking around. She's realizing everything Rick has been saying since Rick and his group got to Alexandria is true. They are not prepared. She is not prepared. And quite frankly, she thinks that everything that she built and everything that she dreamed and wanted to come true is just gone. And it was a stupid idea. And at one point, she gets a little bit of her flame reignited when she pulls out a map of Alexandria and starts mapping out where they can sustain life in different areas. And you saw the fire in her. The next time you saw the fire in her is when a leftover walker happened to attack her, and she just went ballistic. I mean, don't want to get on her bad side. I mean, husband's dead. Son was, preaching to the choir, and then all of a sudden just blowing everyone off and stealing crap. You know what? That's it. I'm going for it. And she just goes crazy on this walker till Rick shows up. I gotta say, this season has been pretty solid. Some people are not very happy with this season. However, I think this season happens to be doing very well. The plotting of their episodes, the different types of episodes that they're doing. Again, the season premiere where they were doing the past and present. In the black and white, you were in the past. In the present, it was nice and colored. It was a really, really, really good dynamic. And then, of course, breaking up, giving you that oh my god moment, and then last week's episode being a here's what's been happening in this person's life, completely different from while we're all sitting there trying to figure out, is Glenn alive? Is he dead? What's going on? They're like, you know what? We're going to give you another week to mull on it. By the way, here's what's been going on with Morgan. And the Morgan story was just great. It gives more, it gives me, and kind of, I hope it gave the rest of the viewers who watch this show like I do, that feeling of completion. That, all right, I feel as though I know Morgan now, and I know why he's been giving Rick these dirty looks, or the priest these dirty looks. So it's a consistent season so far, and being that it's not consistent with its episode releases. However, everything's been fitting in. Like, things that you would remember from 2 weeks ago or even the season premiere, you can go back to it right now and understand what's going on with this episode and how it relates to the past episodes. And maybe you could figure out what's going to happen in the future episodes. It's going into its winter break soon, so we've got a couple more episodes left, 1 or 2, I believe. So we'll have to see what happens in Alexandria and what happens with Daryl and Abraham, because they're still out there trying to get the other half of the horde of walkers away from Alexandria, and we'll see. Now, towards the end of the episode, Deanna, after she freaks out on the gate to kind of mock the walkers, she's walking away, and you see a little bit of, you know what? Before I say anything, I'll hit this. You see a little bit of blood trickling through what seems to be a crack in the wall. So hopefully that's a nice little sign of we're going to get some pretty good action coming in next week's episode. I hope so, because yeah. So I think this is going to be another great season of The Walking Dead, and we've seen so much already, and we do keep seeing the interactions between all of Rick's group and Alexandria's. Mostly not that good, but hopefully now that the citizens of Alexandria can at least now band behind Rick's group, and hopefully they can come together to take care of the situation with the walkers surrounding them, but also be able to fend off and hopefully put to bed the wolves, in a manner of speaking. Maybe put them to bed. Oh boy. So that was this week's Walking Dead. Very interesting episode. Again, feeling for Maggie. Maggie is... Yes, this is a green screen. Poke. Green screen. Yay. Feeling for Maggie. Maggie's us. We are Maggie. We're going to be getting hopefully answers soon to that big question of whether or not Glenn is still with us. I hope so.